here at Maitland. Again, I am Jackson, and I am joined by Landon.
And yeah, we're getting back into it. Round 2. Round 1 was pretty solid.
Round 1 was a good one.
It was a very good game 3 that we went into. We have yet again very standard teams. We have the Pow Knight archetype that we're all very familiar with.
Against Tornadus Glamora. This is Robert Bosch versus Jonathan Martin. My understanding is that Robert has been a very good player. He's been around a while. This should be a good one.
On Jonathan's, might be a typo, but it says he was born year 1000. So, you know, he might have been around for a minute, but
he's got the experience.
He's got the experience for sure. But no, but in general, these are two very standard teams. We have King Gambit, like we saw this time with Black Glasses, my favorite, but no Sword Stance. It has Iron Head, Kauto Cleave, and Sucker Punch. So, and of course Protect. I mean, you never see Black Glasses without Protect.
Yeah. Protect is too valuable.
We have
even with Urshifu in the format. Protect is Protect. How did Wolf put it? It's like the crux of competitive Pokemon or something like that. Because it's like the only competitive. It's like the only counterplay that works on everything.
Yeah, and then we have two Urshifus of two different forms. We have Urshifu Dark on Robert's side, and we have Urshifu Rapid Strike, Urshifu Water on Jonathan's. And this is gonna be a very interesting match we have. You know, it's there are two very, you know, I'd say like, you know, hyper offense teams that we have going on here. We also have the Chi-Yu and Fluttermane coming from Robert. We just have very solid picks all around. And
yeah, I think one thing that is one thing that's going to be interesting here is again we see a Pokemon that just kind of just outright beats another Pokemon that's similar to last round where we had Iron Hand versus King Gambit, and that was played out remarkably well. But here we have Urshifu Rapid Strike versus Ogerpon Wellspring, which again is a little bit different because Urshifu can just get Follow Me away from Surging Strikes.
Yeah, this is Choice Scarf, so if it gets Choice locked into Surging Strikes and that Ogerpon comes in, it's going to be pretty unfortunate for Jonathan.
Absolutely. We see the Flutter Chi-Yu from Robert, an archetype we've seen around for a long time. We see the Chien-Pao Dragonite from Jonathan, an archetype we've seen around for a long time. Looks like we're having a little bit of technical difficulty, so we might be here a little while. But we've got Assault Vest Dragonite. It's not Choice Band, it's Assault Vest, which, as my understanding, is the Riley Vectura special.
Assault Vest Dragonite, that is, oh yeah. That is the Raleigh Factora special. That is one way to put it. We actually do have Raleigh Factora at this tournament, you know, and we're all very excited to see how he plays. He won his round 1. Don't know if he's running the same exact team he usually does, but in general, we know Riley to be a very good player.
That does not take away from either of these two players, though.
Oh, absolutely not at all. You know, Dragonite, Assault Vest, and we're looking at...
Yeah, we're looking at teams. We see Robert's team here. Standard Glamora, my Rocky Helmet over Covert Cloak on Tornadus. That is always a choice, I think.
I always prefer Covert Cloak, but, you know, I never really choose Rocky Helmet personally. I think Rocky Helmet makes sense if it's Terra Ghost, but this one's actually Terra Steel.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting choice because you get because the benefits are so clearly skewed one way or the other. Because
for sure.
Covert Cloak means you always get the Tailwind up, but this Rocky Helmet means, hey, they're going to take chip damage. It's a risk to target into me, especially with this Urshifu Rapid Strike on Jonathan's side, especially with this Chien-Pao on Jonathan's side as well, because it doesn't have Icicle Crash. It has Ice Spinner.
Yes, and here's the thing. Not only does it break the sash, but here's the thing. Covert Cloak won't even help in this situation because there's no fake out pressure coming from Jonathan's side.
Yeah, so in this particular matchup, it's going to be very good to have this Rocky Helmet.
Oh, for sure. And I don't think there's anything that has secondary effects on Jonathan's side that could affect Tornadus. So realistically,
yeah,
Rocky Helmet was the right choice here.
Yes, at least in this matchup. We see an interesting Amoonguss set because normally we see Spore and Rage Powder, which are the standard moves you see on just about every Moongus.
Oh.
But we see Grass Knot, Clear Smog. So there's no Pollen Puff and there's no Protect. And even there's no Sludge Bomb, which is kind of the secondary option. We see that he's kind of scared of Dondozo.
Yeah,
that would be my guess as to why we've got the Clear Smog.
Jackson, a very big fan of Dondozo.
But should be an interesting one. Again, we see this Ogerpon water, but we see an Ogerpon Hearthflame on the other side.
Yep, and so, we have the Battle of the Ogerpons and the Battle of the Urshifus. We have 2 different Urshifu forms and 2 different Ogerpons forms from each side. That's interesting. And we also have 2 different Treasures of Ruin. We're having everything against each other.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of everything here. We've got the Urshifus, we've got the Paradox plus Ruin archetype that's been around since forever. So the real differences here, like, I know the whole teams are different, but the real differences here then is this Glamora versus this Kingambit.
That's definitely the biggest difference, because Glamora has that Power Herb Meteor Beam that it can always use.
Just started blowing stuff up.
And Kingambit, one of my favorite choices.
But there's no Swords Dance here. So
there is no Swords Dance. It's not my type of Kingambit.
Yeah, and there's no Intimidate on Robert's side. So the only way that it can get procced is by Bleakwind Storm and Icy Wind. We see the Icy Wind on the Flutter Mane and the Bleakwind Storm.
Maybe even a
obviously,
Moonblast special attack drop.
That is also possible.
That happened to me. First round San Antonio. First round, game 3, guaranteed me the win.
Sounds like a good time.
Oh, fantastic.
Always good to talk about previous games, but we've got a game happening right now. We're getting into this game: Robert Bosch versus Jonathan Martin. Glamora Tornadus versus Pow Knight.
I wouldn't say I'd love to see a Pow Knight, but I'm expecting it. I'm expecting to see a Pow Knight lead coming from Jonathan. Now let's see what we see from both sides.
We do see the leads coming out.
And we see
Shenpao,
Shenpao and Ogerpon. No Dragonite. We see Tornadus and Glamora. Very common thing to see.
Yes, that's about what we
nothing new.
about what we expected there.
So this is a very interesting spot for Robert to be in, because here's the thing: Ogerpon can protect from that Meteor Beam. Shenpao can live the Meteor Beam because of a Focus Sash. So we know Glamora, like, once you hit it, the Toxic Breeze will be spread out, but it can honestly be taken out, I wouldn't say easily, but it's not too difficult to take it out.
Yeah, the one thing that's interesting here is we do have the Sword of Ruin active for this Ogerpon Hearthflame. I would not be surprised to see if this Ogerpon just takes a clean KO on whichever Pokemon it targets.
Oh, for sure.
Sword of Ruin. It's a very, very dangerous Pokemon. The Shenpao only makes it all the more dangerous. We do see the Terra come out. Very early Terras. Something of a trend. We see this
Terra
Tornadus.
Steel, possibly anticipating an Ice Spinner going onto that Tornadus.
Or potentially the... No, not yet. That's right, Ice Spinner. I was thinking Ivy Cudgel, but Ivy
No,
Cudgel's
Ivy Cudgel's fire. I think that...
we see the Protect coming out, Spiky Shield coming out from this Ogerpon. Here comes the Tailwind from this Tornadus.
Yep.
Where does this Glamora target with this Meteor Beam? We're gonna see it charge up, get this +1.
So we're seeing that charge up, but who is it targeting into?
And
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Power Herb, and it goes into
the
the
into the Protect on the Ogerpon. So pretty solid position for Jonathan.
And the
The Ice Spinner made the correct call. Robert made the right call here.
And breaks the sash on the rock. Breaks the sash with the Rocky Helmet.
Robert's in a pretty nice position. I'd say it's pretty nice. I don't know.
Yeah, Tailwind up is a huge pain because both of these Pokemon on Jonathan's side rely mostly on their natural speed, and suddenly they lack the advantage that that natural speed would bring.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, and Glamora, you're doing more on special attack, perhaps some on bulk.
It's not the fastest Pokemon.
Not the fastest at all. I wouldn't say not too slow, but definitely not fast.
Yeah, so it being able to move first.
I just realized when the camera panned, you could see an item. I didn't know that could happen in these battles. That's pretty interesting.
We see it Protect coming out from this Shenpao. I would not be surprised to see something target into that. Bleakwind Storm gonna come out, gonna hit into this Protect. Does it connect on this Ogerpon? It does.
It does. How much damage is that gonna do?
Oh,
wow,
that's
really solid damage. Sludge Bomb onto that Protect.
Shenpao, into the Shenpao. So where does this Ogerpon target?
It has a choice of
Ivy Cudgel into the Glamora.
How is that gonna fare? Ooh, not very effective.
And it does less than half.
Get
And here
that
comes the
Toxic
Toxic Spike.
Breeze. Oh wow. Jonathan doesn't look like he's in too good of a position.
Given this, I would not be surprised to see the Amoonguss in the back, given how he just really attacked this Glamora very easily. Like there wasn't any fear of potentially bringing in toxic spikes. He just went.
Not at all.
Went for it. He went for it with a not very effective attack.
Amoonguss and King Gambit, I wouldn't be surprised if those were the two back
least one of
Pokemon.
them.
At least one of them, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
But we're coming in. But we're. But we're coming in with this turn. Chien-Pao switches out.
that's interesting. Is this going to be into a King Gambit to protect?
Dragonite.
Ooh.
You see this Dragonite come out.
The Sulpus is going to reduce some damage, and
Sequence Storm comes out, takes out this Ogerpon. How much damage is this Glamora going to be able to do to this Dragonite?
how much indeed this is? I do anticipate a lot of damage.
Oh, that's a lot.
That is still a lot. That is still a lot
Looks like
for
about 40,
sure.
Looks about 40%. So I'm interested to see what comes in now, because we
I
have the
wouldn't be surprised
Chien-Pao.
with the Chien-Pao.
We see the
We get
Chien-Pao
that
come back.
double priority situation going on. I wouldn't be too surprised with that. Chien-Pao is being poisoned, unfortunately.
But most importantly, it gets that Sword of Ruin back active on the field.
I
for
forget
this
that. I
Dragonite.
always forget that flying types are immune to toxic spikes. I always forget that.
Yeah, but Robert is in a good Robert's in a fairly good position right now because he's still got the Tailwind. I know there's priority coming out as we see a double protect come out. He's trying to bait out these priority moves, try and get a little bit more chip down maybe on this Chien-Pao. But the big one is that Tailwind is running. He's running out of Tailwind turns and protecting. And if I'm counting the turns correctly, this is the last turn of Tailwind. So protecting here means that you can reset the Tailwind very easily.
Get that Terra normal from that Dragonite, gonna get that boost on those extreme speeds.
Yep.
Let's see how this goes.
Again, we see a double protect coming out from Robert's side. If you targeting into this spiky shield is a much bigger deal than targeting into this protect because of the chip damage. But like we said, there's a lot of priority coming out. You see the extreme speed into this Glamora.
So that's gonna be some damage onto that Dragonite. Not too much though. I think this next
Sucker
turn,
Punch. Sucker Punch will fail.
I think this next turn could be really solid for Jonathan because he could extreme speed onto that Tornadus. Tornadus is low enough to where it's gonna KO. And
Are
then
you sure?
that.
That's a lot of HP.
Oh
Tornadus
wow!
and Terra Steel.
Wow. Hold on.
I think it's. I think it's.
What was
gonna take
I
it.
thinking?
I think it's gonna take it
I
fine.
thought it was in the red. I thought it was in the red. Whoopsies.
Nope. I think. I think Tornadus is gonna be fine. So
Tornadus
there's
is
no-
definitely gonna be fine.
Yeah. So there's no there's no immediate KO pressure coming out from Jonathan's side.
I think a Sucker Punch could threaten something onto that Glamora at least. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah. I mean, just again, this is gonna come down to whether this KOs or not from. Because at least one, because if it's another exchange speed, it's going to be resisted by whichever target he attacks into. And if it's this Tornadus, and if the target into the Tornadus, then the Sucker Punch will fail.
I think what
Because
could happen is the Sucker Punch could get on that Glamora. If it
Ooh, it lives. It'll
it
survive.
lives.
But the Dragonite did not go for extreme speed.
It might be going for a Stomping Tantrum. Is what I was going to say. It might be going for a Stomping Tantrum onto that Tornadus, hoping to get that double knockout.
The Tailwind Sludge Bomb come out.
And
Dragonite goes
Finishing
down.
off that Dragonite. So now Jonathan has 2 Pokemon against Robert's 4.
We still have yet to see what any of the mons in the back are.
This Glamora Tornadus setup is working all too nicely for Robert.
We see
right
the
now.
Urshifu. No
Urshifu.
Amoonguss or King Gambit.
And if it locks into a water move, then all he has to do is take out that Chien-Pao and maybe he has an Ogerpon in the back.
Yep.
It
Just gonna click the Bleakwind Storm button.
click the KO button.
Yep. No reason not to. We have the Tailwind. I would not be surprised to see a Sucker Punch come out for this Chien-Pao to try and take out this Glamora. But
I wouldn't be surprised at all. Nope. Let's
yeah, but
Spiky Shield to anticipate it. But here's the thing: there's a problem with that.
Urshifu just ignores it.
Urshifu ignores it. Yeah, exactly. It's
Here's the Spiky Shield coming out.
yep.
So what does this Urshifu go for? Urshifu is
Is
gonna go.
the Sucker Punch does come out, but it's on that Glamora who used that Spiky Shield.
Liquid
we
Storm comes out. That's a,
Wow. Yep. That
that's a
Chien-Pao is
lot of damage.
that Chien-Pao is
And the
going.
speed drop.
Wow. Okay. That Chien-Pao is going
Double
down.
speed drop.
Yeah, like it matters. It's
Surging
go-
strikes.
And if that Ogre Pawn comes in, then that's game.
No, it doesn't matter because Rocky
Oh,
Helmet's going to take out this
All right, well, this is the last turn.
Urshifu is going to go down here.
Urshifu
Shinpao-
goes down, and the Shinpao will go down to the poison.
So we have seen a very clean game one from Robert's end. Poison takes out Shinpao.
Doesn't even need to show his back to Pokemon.
Nope.
It's swift win from Robert. Yeah.
So where is the adjustment then from Jonathan? What is the adjustment you have to make here?
That is definitely an important thing to think of. Where is the adjustment? Because here's the thing. It's like you can adjust to Glimmora Tornadus, but you didn't even get to see the other two.
Nope.
You didn't even get to see them.
No, I think at least the obvious adjustment would be leading this Urshifu and trying to get this Glimmora off the field immediately.
But then there's that fear of that Ogre Pawn, you know? It's just like...
Yeah, the fear, yeah, the pressure of these not knowing these back Mons is such a big deal for this game.
Oh, it's insane. I love the stay comfy.
Yeah, stay comfy on the jacket, but we've got these more standard archetypes going against each other, but we've seen that piloted well, it doesn't matter what they're going against because they can just run away with the game entirely.
Oh, for sure. It's just Robert was just in such a clean game one. Such a clean game one.
Yeah, there's nothing to critique from Robert's side. I think
nothing at all.
I think he played it very well. I think the adjustment is definitely on Jonathan's side. I would not be surprised to see Robert bring the exact same Mons in the exact same order. And Jonathan has to adjust here because there's nothing.
Oh, for sure.
Because Jonathan, like we said, like happened, Jonathan gained no traction at all during that first game.
I think a double Sucker Punch lead could work out pretty well against the Glimtoran.
That could work.
But here's the thing: if you don't lead Glimtoran,
then
that double Sucker Punch is not going to work out.
Yeah.
It's a very risky decision.
Yeah.
For sure.
For sure.
Especially because Robert has that one archetype of Chi-Yu Fluttermane. Double Sucker Punch is going to work well against that.
No,
not going to work against that at all.
Yeah, but this Ogre Pawn didn't do anything. This Dragonite didn't do anything. The best Mon in that game was probably the Shinpao, and it still didn't do a whole lot.
It still didn't. No, Robert completely walled out Jonathan's team, and it's just
he's got quite the uphill battle to come on. He's got quite the uphill battle to make in this game too. For Jonathan anyway, Robert might have an easier time, but Jonathan has the adjustment. He has been forced to adjust because game one went so badly.
Yeah, it's wow. Now
but we're
going
getting into the
this
leads here.
Game two, seeing the leads, Shinpao Urshifu definitely adjustment with a Fluttermane Chi-Yu, just like I was talking about.
There we are.
Now Urshifu is, I would say it's pretty nice into this Fluttermane Chi-Yu.
It's definitely dangerous, but we're about to see here. It's booster energy Fluttermane. If it's booster speed,
or if it's booster special attack.
If it's booster speed, then that's a big deal. It is
booster
booster
speed. That's a huge deal.
And this Fluttermane has Icy Wind, so what we could see, we could just see Icy Wind Heat Wave and try and get this Shinpao off the field immediately.
Or we could just see a Dazzling Gleam Terra Fairy just destroying all, you know?
Or we could just see a lot of damage come out from this Fluttermane. Though it is booster speed, and booster speed do not tend to run a whole lot of special attack investment.
That is true, but we do have that Beads of Ruin coming out from Chi-Yu.
Yes, so it should deal quite the chunk of damage.
Oh, a potential Moonblast. Oh.
Either way, this is this is a volatile turn.
This is a pretty decent situation for Robert to be in. If Jonathan does a Terra Water,
it becomes a better situation.
It becomes a better situation.
Still not great.
Yeah.
But you see this Terra on the Fluttermane. Terra Fairy. Just trying to boost that damage as much as we possibly can. Beads of Ruin, Terra Fairy.
And let's see if there's a Terra from Jonathan's side. If there is,
there is
a Terra. Is it going to be on that Urshifu? I imagine it is. It is on that Urshifu. Terra Water going to be getting out more damage, and it's.
And it's now not weak to this Moonblast.
It's neutral damage. It's
Sucker
Punch.
Not a whole lot of damage to the resist.
A decent amount.
Moonblast comes out.
How much damage is this going to do? Oh, still one hit knockout. Wow.
Terra, it doesn't matter. Jonathan's
That-
Urshifu goes down.
That is insane. I mean, I knew it was going to do a lot of damage, but come
Beat
on.
comes out and does a whole lot. This Heat Wave does connect, brings Shen Pao down to Focus Sash.
Robert's just in too good of a position at the beginning.
And the burn.
And the burn. Oh, well,
And the burn. Just
Jonathan doesn't look happy about that. And hurt by the burn. 2 Pokemon out at the first turn.
And Robert takes almost nothing for its troubles.
Nothing at all. He takes a sucker punch, a resisted sucker punch. Like, here we have Ogerpon coming out, and
The
it's-
Amoonguss. Here was the adjustment we were talking about earlier. If you expect that Glamora, then here comes the Amoonguss to try and
Here's
prevent
the thing,
the,
though. This Heat Wave from this Trio, I don't
think that.
think it's gonna matter.
I think this game could be over.
This
in 2
game
turns.
is definitely over.
This game could be over in 2 turns.
This looks like a 2-turn game. This definitely looks like it, because the Icy Wind was going to drop both of their speed,
and then
the
the
Heat
Heat
Wave,
Wave's going to blow something
it's
up.
going to destroy them.
And
It's going to take them both out.
It specs Chi-Yu, so there's nothing stop. I don't think there's anything that can take
I
Chi-Yu.
really don't think.
Here comes the Heat
It
Wave.
looks like
does Ogerpon live? No,
A
it does not.
2-turn Game 2 from Robert. Wow. That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, good job to Robert. He's now 2. Is this 2-0? I believe it.
2-0, masterclass of a game from him.
It's.
I have nothing. There are no words that. There are no words
So
I can say.
you can't describe it. It's 2-turn Game 2. What else are you supposed to say to that? Like,
Yeah,
I
just
mean,
absolutely dominated game. Absolutely dominated game 1. Game 2 was even less close. The burn helped. I think the burn helped a lot, but
the burn helped a lot, but even so, I think he was in such an advantageous position.
yeah.
I think he was pretty solid because an Icy Wind would have taken it out and then dropped the speed of the other Pokemon. It's just, it was too solid for Robert.
Yeah, it was such
Game 2 in 2 turns, 2-0, and now he's 2-0 in terms of everything. A lot of 2s coming from Robert, only having to show 2 Pokemon each time.
Yeah, we don't know what the back ones were. We have
neither
no idea.
times.
We don't know if he had a backup strategy.
he didn't.
He didn't
need one.
He didn't
It's
need
just, He needed his primary strategy and nothing else. He didn't need anything else from. It's ridiculous. It's
Just
it was
absolutely fantastic game. The's nothing
It's
else I can really say.
like
I've
that's
said
wild.
I've said that a lot. I have no words.
Because you can't think of anything. Because here's the thing: how are you gonna say anything more about a guy who won both games without showing his back 2 Pokemon?
That's a dominant
It's
victory. It's a
genuinely-
very dominant victory for him.
Like, and he had his Urshifu, he had his Ogerpon. We were talking about that Ogerpon first game. Didn't need to use it at all. We were talking about the potential of the Urshifu versus Urshifu. Didn't need to use that at all. It's just wow. I mean, that was a quick round for us.
Very quick round for us.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I think we're gonna go to a break now, and we'll see you guys on the other side.
See you on the next one.